Drill here, playing turn 78, PB15. Um, just logged on, not done anything as yet. Just moved archer as expected. Roads. Ooh yay, Barbarian Spearman, really not fun. I wanted to move to that tile with the archer, obviously can't do that. Can risk moving onto the forest. I should have odds, but they're not great. I'm just going to go calculate what they should be quickly. I can always move to the corn, but then there's always the chance that the spear wanders north. I really don't want him to do that. I would potentially attacking the archer on a forest might be the best thing to do. It all does depend on the odds. There's 3 different 50. The spear is at 100% health, so that spear's got 30% odds, 30% chance to win. Now, I don't actually want to take that. That's I actually thought that it would be a bit lower, closer to 20, but that is actually pretty high. I'm going to leave that for a moment and reconsider in a bit. There's nothing else special around here. I'm actually going to scout with the warrior first. I'm not going to uncover anything new. Oh, there we go. We see that the wheat is improved, and there's a city on that tile, I think. Yeah, because if it was, if there was a city obviously here, then I would already have vision into the culture. If I move onto the hill, I'll see culture. To the tile left of the jungle, I'll uncover a lot of fog of war. Yeah, so next turn I'll probably move on to the hill because just to uncover the extra fog. Anyway, there's nothing else special there. And again, there's no real changes around anywhere else. There's nothing's up in the event log. Pillage the cottage so that novice can't do it. And now he's got the choice. If he wants to move on to that flatland, he can do, but that's going to be risky. He knows exactly that he knows that my chariot's here. In fact, I can even cover that tile with 2 chariots, so he knows for sure that I don't want him to do that. So that's something that I can do. I'll think about that quickly. Just thinking about what to do with this archer because it's a bit annoying. The other thing I can do is to move that chariot onto the grass hill. That'll uncover these 2 tiles here, and it helps alleviate some concerns that I don't move the archer adjacent to an axe or something. But I really don't want to move him there. It's like so I think I'm gonna risk it. I think I'm gonna just move. I'm not gonna risk it. I think I'm gonna move onto the corn. If the spear moves onto this grassland, I'm pretty fucked. I'm just gonna have to move the archer around the top. there's not really anything I can do to kill that spearman without having any axes, and I obviously don't have any axes. So yeah, I mean, when this axe finishes end of 78, 79 on the copper, potentially 80, 81, and then 82 into the city. I mean, 78 and 79, 82. I mean, that spear could actually be next to Say Baron again by the time it does that. By the time that axe were to get down here, so it's like turn 80-ish. They could actually meet, unless it beelines for got the reset. I'm actually just going to move now, and yeah, I'm going to just move now. Yeah, there's nothing there. If there'd been an axe on that tile, I'd have just been so pissed off. I would have been pissed off with that. I'm going to double cover that hamlet now with that chariot, so Novice knows that he's not to move there. If he wants to move onto the gold, I'm not going to stop him, but I'm not going to let him pillage that hamlet. To be totally honest, there's not that much that's completely relevant now to do with this chariot. I could move to pillage the mine, I could move to scout, could do a lot of things. In fact, I could even move onto that hamlet and decide to try and pillage it myself. Now I've got 2 units. Next turn, Novice will move his archer onto the hamlet, and I could obviously pillage it down, but I don't want to do that. I actually want to keep it because I think I'm going to want to work that tile when the borders pop. Or do I? Because that actually having that gold doesn't help me get to calendar any sooner if I were to pillage it, but it would help me get to horseback riding quicker. But even if I pillage it, I'm only getting about 25 gold, 30 gold at absolute best, so it's not all that much in my opinion. I'm just going to move on to the gold now and wait. Chop there. This settler obviously is going for City 7 or City 8. I think this one's actually going to go for City 7, and the settler from ARAM Collision is going to do City 8. This is partly because I'm actually thinking about not using Worker 1 to road that Plains Hill tile. Yeah. I'm just going to mine that, just and cancel. Next turn I can move 1 onto the... Oh no, just to show. The settler next turn can move to this tile here, and then actually move to there. And then it can settle City 7 on turn 81. But by doing that, and the settler from ARAM Collusion goes here, and then goes straight onto the Desert Hill, whereas the settler from GTR would actually be 1 tile behind. So don't even need to road that plains tile right now. I will do obviously to get the trade route set up, but I don't need to for the settler movement, I think. I would if I wanted the settler from GTR from Got the Reset to get there, but obviously if I don't need it to do that, then I don't need it. Next turn, move him there, he moves there. Move him there this turn, next turn. Yeah, I could only get I could get City 7 settled one turn sooner, but only if I move both workers onto the Plains Hill. I don't care for that, to be totally honest. I could have moved that. Yeah, actually, this is a mistake. Is I shouldn't have mined that tile. I should have just moved straight down onto that tile. Then I could have roaded it. I had both of these roaded and could have got it done one turn sooner. So that it is a mistake, but the catch is that I don't think it helps getting the corn hooked up any sooner. And this is why I should always think before I do stuff. But I said I'd have to move all these workers. I'd also have to move worker one down. I didn't actually want to do that anyway, so. But arguably, I should have still moved that worker down there. There we go. Although I would have paid gold for it. I'm going to build the archer. I'm going to use that archer to fog bust to the south. Even if I just shove it on this tile here, it's going to stop it's going to stop Bobs from spawning quite a few tiles and getting fortification bonus. If I could put 2 units on the 2 question marks here, I'd actually stop pretty much everything spawning, I think. There'd still be like 1 tile it could spawn on, but not too fussed. I mean, the odds of that are quite low. But I'm going to have units down here anyway doing roads towards these city sites. Next turn, I'm going to move 1 worker to here and 1 to there. One road that, he moves there. Turn after he roads, and he moves there. Turn after he roads, moves there. Finish the road, and then I can settle City 8 immediately with the trade route. And I can look at getting the sheep hooked up immediately as well as the corn. Because it's not just City 7 that I'm looking at getting hooked up as fast as possible. It's actually City 8 I think is more important. I actually want that corn improved so that I can grow City 7 to size 2. But then I actually want to hit 2 of the grass hills mine so that I can just build a granary quickly. I'll probably use 1 slave as well to get it done even quicker, and then steal the corn back and grow. City 7 needs, it needs a lot of hammers. It needs 60 hammers for the granary. It needs 30 hammers for our barracks to pop borders. So that's 90. Then needs another 60 hammers just for 2 workboats. I mean, you can get 150 hammers just to get this city in position that it's got tiles improved, like, plus the worker turns to get the hills mined. That's not great. And there's only 2 forests that I can chop to speed that up. And that's only after the. And that's only really after the borders pop. And if I'm not doing barracks first, I'm basically going to be. I don't even think I'm going to need to do that. I think I'll only need 1 forest chop to do that. So that'll be the one up here, I on all of these ones, I'll just go into City 8 to get that set up quickly. City 8's not going to go granary first. City 8's actually going to go barracks first because I want that gold tile for happiness. Well, actually, I don't think I even need that. It's only really relevant in one city, I think, in Donga. I mean, got the reset, obviously. It can go to size 8 once that unhappiness is worn off, and then the 4 happiness, or 3 from calendar, 1 from the gold, put it to size 12. And it's like, what tiles can it work without ironworking to chop down the jungle? There's only really there's 2 river plains, river grassland, and a normal grassland that it can work. I mean, so even then, works one at size 8, 9, 10, 11. It's still got a tile to 2. It's like, can't even work the hill tile. It actually can't work any more tiles. It'd have to with the lake, so it would actually have to wait. So yeah, even with gold, it would have to wait for ironworking to chop these down and to get all of that more cottages available. And Donga, it doesn't matter unless it gives up the sugar. Size 7, it works all the grass hills, ivory and pig. 8 and 9, sugar and plains hill. So what does it work after that? There isn't anything. It can work a few cottages if I wanted it to, but the only cottages it can really work is like one of the plains tiles. There's not much other tiles that got the reset can work anyway, so there's not much point of happiness there. Happiness in Here Tomorrow Big, it's just, it could do, if I had caste system, then the happiness would be useful, because I would work 1 billion artists in this city, or 1 billion scientists. What is it? It could work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with that, and they feed each other. So it's like, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this city could grow to size 12 and work a lot of scientists. So that'd actually be a reasonable national epic city with the happiness. But no, actually, I don't need the gold for happiness. Would appreciate it for the commerce though. So actually, yeah, if I really wanted to, I could just pasture that sheep and then chop 2, and then just say screw it, chop 2 of the tiles for 2 of the forests for the granary. Actually grow it to size 2 quickly. So yeah, there's actually quite a lot of choices here. So yeah, City 7 is going to be settled T81. City 8 settled turn 8. Moment. 79. 81, 82 is settled at turn 82. So it's like, where are the workers going to be? 78, 79, 80, moves on 81 to mine that. Or I don't mind that and just waste a turn to move down, and then immediately does that on 80. So 78, 80, 81 here. 82 it pastures. So if I could get another work, I could either use 3 workers on 83 or get another worker on 82 and then 2 on 83 to finish that. The problem is that with that sheep there, it's very difficult to get both workers over. So really, I'd want to so wait, 1 worker's here anyway on 82, so I've got 1 worker that I could move on 83 to chop, because one of those 2 workers has to road that desert hill. So 79 road, 80 road, 81. So it's just difficult because I've only got so many workers and I need to hook up. As I said, I'm looking at hooking up 2 food resources and um, chopping the forests. I actually need to consider if I even want a road to City 7 because I don't need it to get a trade route because it's on a lake and there's rivers. So I don't actually need the road other than for military, moving military around. So I'm actually considering not even doing that. But if I were not to send this worker down, I could move it now, 78, road 79, road 80, 81 again. So it's like, why even bother? If I wanted to burn a turn though, I could just move it straight underneath that warrior. And instead of... So, I'd have one worker to road here, one worker to road desert, and one worker to road the plains tile, or the... Actually, the grassland's better. So next turn I'd move one worker to there, so it would be roaded 79... No, move on 79, road on 80... Road on 81. So I could immediately move one worker down to do that. So move on to 9. So 83, that would be finished. 80, 80. So not 78, 79, 80, 81, he does that. 82, we can do that. So basically the sheep's going to be delayed a turn. That would get the corn done sooner. One turn sooner. Than the sheep. Sheep would be 82, 83. 84 it'd be finished, but I'd have one worker free to move onto the plains tile to chop that. 83 that'd be finished, so 84 I could move one worker to chop this. So I could actually get these forests chopped quite quickly. Both of these food tiles would be improved, both of them could be worked. Both these cities could grow to size 2. However, at size 2 I still wouldn't have the 2 hills mined. In fact, I'd have to waste another work turn getting a worker off the sheep onto the desert hill, or I'd have to road and road the sheep, which would be preferable even if it does delay a turn, because that is a tile I need roaded, so I can get units onto the hills of the forest quickly if I need to. Retreat that onto the, and then mine this tile, which would be easy. That hill is easy to get done because the worker on the corn can move into the city and then onto the hill. I won't bore its 3 tiles from the sheep if that's roaded. I'd need to road that as well. It's actually just a bit. Actually, to get these 2 cities improved quickly, I need 5 workers, I think, because I need 4 workers, 2 per food resource. I need 2 workers to then chop the forests, and I can just about make it done. I think I can just about make it done in a reasonable time frame. But the granary is still not going to be done before the food box is half full. Unless I were to actually chop the granary first before doing the sheep, which might even be a better move because I can work the oasis. So I can plant the city and then yeah, I think I might do that. I think I might just actually go to chop the granary first, work the oasis, then work the sheep. City 7 just works the corn and grows to size 2. City 7 definitely has no need of getting culture, no need of getting barracks, because there's no way I get the hammers for the workboats. Unless I were to get the workers in position, 2 workers in position to chop the forests immediately to get the, well, 1 forest immediately to get the fish hooked. I don't know. I don't know. The other point is that what can I do with the food? What can I do with a granary in City 8? The answer is actually I'd have to slave the population I grow there, because there's no way I can get all of the tiles improved. So I'd immediately slave. I'd grow to size 3 if I stole a corn. I'd grow it to size 3. I'd slave a barracks. Um, I'd slave a. I'd slave the barracks. With the amount of happiness there, I'd actually be willing to stack quite a few weapon happiness. I don't think I'd get a library. But there's so many forests in this city that I can chop. I mean, even considering that this forest and this forest is for City 7, there's still what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forests that I can chop. Well, 2 of them are gone for a granary. There's still 3 there. So still a few options, but anyway, it's like, what am I going to do with this 1 worker? Like, do I want it to go and improve City 7 and City 8, or do I want it to improve Got the Reset? Now, Got the Reset grows in 4 turns because I'm stealing the pig back on that final turn to speed growth. What tile does that work? What tile does that new population work? Well, it'll work the lumber mill. I can either move the labour on the farm onto that hill, or leave it where it is and just save a bit of food, or build that worker and the food doesn't matter too much. I can always save the food because I'm not that far from hooking up the calendar resources. And it would take, I'd save 17 food from growing, I'd need 36. So that's like 19 food I need. 19 food I'd need to produce to grow, and if it's only making 2 a turn, that's gonna be it's gonna be a while. So I don't think the city would grow before I had the happiness hooked up. So I don't think that's a problem, but I do need to grow cottages. Actually, I think I'm going to give up on that. I'm not going to do that cottage. I would like to. I would actually really like to. Um, but I am just that little bit worker limited at the moment, and I think it's more important that I get these 2 cities up and running quickly. And interestingly enough, if I'm looking at settling these 3s down here, I'm going to have to produce at least, in my opinion, at least 4 workers to get these all improved. That's an absolute minimum. Probably more, probably about 5 workers just to do that. Plus the fact I need some to improve all my cities that are going to be growing new population anyway from the extra happiness. So I actually do need to go on a bit of a worker building spree shortly. So if I'm going on a worker building spree, I've got to the workers can cottage these tiles after they're built, whilst I'm waiting to build military to then escort the workers as they rode towards these cities. So actually, yeah, I might build a worker or 2 out of Raise Donga. I might build that worker, got the reset. Hitamo Big's got to build a granary, so that can wait anyway. But yeah, I'm going to move this worker down. But do I move it to the hill, or do I just burn a worker turn? Just waste it? So a hard question. I think I'll burn it. I'm going to burn it and go to road that grassland hill tile. So I'll move it now on 78. I'll move on 79 to that grassland hill. I'll road on 80, road on 81. The worker that roads the plains tile on 79 and 80 can then immediately improve the corn on 81. Then both the worker will move off the hill to improve it on 82 and 83 when it finishes. So I'll think I'm going to burn the worker turn now. That was a mistake. I should have moved it onto the stack here, but it doesn't actually matter because it's still got the same reach to the south. Yeah, so it's actually makes no difference there. So that's most of the turn. That's the turn done actually. Pretty much completed. Go check a few things. My percentage of world population is dropping as Thoth's obviously planted those cities and growing them. Okay, you settled for the corn, that's improved. That sheep's not. That sheep's not. So you settled 2 cities, one of them's for the corn. Don't know about anything else. Oh yeah, before I forget, slave this city. So it's gonna. This city will here tomorrow big will immediately regrow. 17. Oh no, I want to work that tile. I want to work that tile. The extra hammer from working the normal mine doesn't actually help me at all. Doesn't gain the imperialistic bonus. So if I just work this the silver, I'll get the commerce, and I kind of value that more. 16 total, making 17. I can't count, making 16, 32 overflow, which actually comes straight back down to the 20 base hammers that I'll overflow out because of the imperialistic bonus. So even if I made that extra hammer, I'd just lose it due to rounding anyway. So working the silver's the right choice no matter what. So I'll overflow out 20 hammers. Next turn I'll make 10 hammers because I'll immediately regrow and work that mine again. So I could then finish the axe next turn, overflow out 9 hammers, which is just that little bit annoying. Not quite enough to shave off a turn from the granary. But yeah, that's something to decide next turn. Got the reset. Build the archer for 4 turns. On the last turn, swap from the farm to the pig. It'll grow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unhappiness will just about wear off. It means that I can build that worker. I won't have to waste a turn building something that I won't finish for a while. So the worker's kind of what I want to build. The worker is kind of what I want to build. Don't want to bother about growing straight to size, like straight to size 9, 10, 11. Do want to get that worker because there's no point growing if you haven't got improved tiles to grow onto, so I need to get that worker around. Ratio Donga, the micromanagement I've linked to in a spreadsheet because just for the amount of food I need this city to produce so that it can give the pig up without screwing up growth. It is just still going to grow straight to size 7. Question is what it builds on the way there. This axe is obviously going to go down to this area because of the spear. I need to deal with that. The archer that I'm building got the reset is going to go and fog bust. So it's really a question of what else do I think I need to build. Obviously the library can go. I don't care about that. I've got plenty of chariots, so it's do I want to build spear, archer, or axe? Although I could build a scout. If I built a scout, it would just be for a medic unit, which I don't think I need right now. So that can wait a bit. The likely answer is actually an axe. Even though I'm building one in here tomorrow big, I I might not be able to finish that one. I might have to let that lose hammers because I need the granary done before the food box is half full on the next growth to size 6. So I might have to build that axe here. But I do kind of... I mean, even though Pindicator's busy with Sadoa, I still think a spear is always a smart choice to have in that city. Especially because he's playing Babylon and Bowman. I mean, what am I going to use an axe for? If he's got a Bowman, if he puts that on a hill, there's not much that I've got that I can build that will remove that. Horse archers are the best item, best unit, and I'm a fair distance from them. Chariots are like the next best thing anyway. Axes don't do much against him, I think. And I know that he's got horses, so it's like a spear in that city would just be a wise move. 2 archers would also do. So I might even just say screw it and build another archer. I'm going to overflow out 3 hammers. So that's... I don't think that affects the... yeah, I don't think that affects build time of the archer. Or I'm supposed to make 6, aren't I? Did I move it off the farm? I'm going to have to go and check this video because I can't even remember moving that off the farm, but the numbers actually look right. Because I was trying to remember that I wasn't supposed to overflow anything out of this axe. I was supposed to work the farm this turn and save as much food as possible. Because it's effectively a 4 yield tile because the granary will save the food. It saves the food you produce on the turn that you grow as well, so produced 8 last turn, produce 8 this turn, all that'd be 16 total. The max I can save is 14. But it's... oh no, it was a 4 yield tile last turn. This turn it doesn't matter. I'd save it anyway, but I'd save the maximum total. But I need to overflow more food anyway, just to make growth easier next turn. On the next 2 turns, so actually no, I have to work the farm. Yeah, almost screwed micromanagement again. ARAM collusion. It's going to have to give up those hills shortly, but I'm delaying it slightly. They're going to work ARAM collusion's going to work these 2 tiles for a few more turns, because I'm delaying. Well, not delaying, but I'm slowing the growth slightly in Rajadonga. But yeah, it's going to do a worker next after this. But it works the cottage so that it overflows out nothing and doesn't waste anything. Moment. 8 turns until that unhappiness is gone. 1 turn doing this settler, 5 turns doing the library. Oh no, 5 turns doing a worker. 1 turn doing a library. Then it'll just double whip a library. Just about as the whip and happiness would wear off, so it's pretty much fine, that is. And yeah, just keep on growing Save Iron again, get the library done. And work 2 scientists on turn 84. I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah, I'm going to delay the scientist a single turn, just to get Save Baron again to size 4, so that it can work the sheep, the fish and 2 scientists, and then grow slowly to size 5. At size 5 I'll just stop working the sheep and work 2 cottages, or 1 cottage here and the hamlet, and then 1 cottage can go to ARAM collusion. It depends on the micromanagement, but yeah, that's actually most of the turn done. Anyway, yeah, thanks for what. Oh, one last thing. MFG goods dropped through the floor because of changing what precisely? It's because I've whipped away 1 population there, and Rajadonga stopped working a bunch of hills. As you can see, I've had a lead, but it seems to be dropping off now. But that's actually going to come back very shortly. Um, yeah, that's going to be coming back very shortly as I settle a bunch of cities. Because I'll be getting, what, about 5, 10, 15 just off that. I've got a lead of 7 already. 8 just doing that. I mean, I'm going to be looking at over the next 4 turns, just adding about 20 crop yield. So that might scare some people. That'll be fun to watch. Yep. Anyway, that's the turn. Um, Next turn's likely going to be tomorrow morning again, because we're stuck playing 1 turn a day now because Sadoa declared war on Pindicator. Pindicator has a limited play time and he plays at night, and he's West Coast USA, Sadoa being European, then basically plays early in the morning, and rolls the turn, so then Novice and me play as other Europeans. And then everyone else just filters in between when Pindicator would play late at night and when the Europeans play, because I think most people are East Coast. Most of the remainder are East Coast players, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, see you guys tomorrow morning.